Hello, it's Justin McDonald here, and I'm here for you with another Results Radio. Livecast. And today's comes from a quote. Excuse me there. I pushed my seat up a little bit here. Today's comes from a quote from Peter Blackshaw's book, and I was actually just checking it out too. Just kind of skimming through the book again. The whole book is about credibility, actually, in like if you do good in your business, you might get like one or two people that might tell a friend. But if you do something bad or controversial, you can get thousands of people to realize what you did. I'm going to open a window. Pardon me. In my professional studio here, if you listen carefully enough, you could probably hear the sounds of Ahmad Jamal, rest in peace, on a record player, but probably not. But it's kind of a nice day out today. It's one of those days in New England where it's like cloudy, and then it's nice, and then it's cloudy, and then it's nice. It's like bipolar weather, like literally. It's like you almost get all four seasons except for snow. Although the other day we did get hail. Anyways, let's cut to the chase here. And I don't know if we've gotten a few people up to speed that might be just trying to tune in, or if you are just trying to tune in, hello again, this is Justin McDonald here, and I'm doing one of these Facebook live casts, Results Radio, or Results Required Radio, whatever you want to call it. And my handle, if you want to find me on any of the socials, is at Results Required. And now I have one of them link trees too. You probably know what those are. It's like link TREE/results required. And I'll try to get that up to speed too, so I can start doing a little bit of consulting, like quick consultations too, not like long consultations. I like to do quick ones, like if I could do it in 15 minutes or a half hour, that'd be good. In and out quick. We could try to tackle like the big issue that's going on in your business, or like the one big thing, like the one big problem you're having. That's what I like to try to do. Unless maybe you're just losing a lot of money in your business. I'm pretty good at finding the holes in people's business buckets, I like to say, and try to plug those up. And then once we find out that you are not losing money, at least, just think about the money you'll save just by stop losing money. That basically pays not only for the consultation, but it'll give you some extra spending money for your marketing process. But we're going back to this quote here from Peter Blackshaw. He says that in today's consumer-driven world, there is no credibility without accountability, period. And you got to start somewhere too. But if you want a paycheck, right? Even if you're working a regular job, if you want a paycheck, you got to work, and then once you work, you can get paid. Like that kind of just is obvious, right? Like you have to actually be accountable and take responsibility for whatever it is you say you're gonna do, right? You work your shift, and then the credit is what happens when you put in the work. And, maybe you're not working a regular job, but it's cause and effect. It's all about cause and effect. And, if you do good, people will say good. So, I think the example that was being referred to in this book was probably about closer to 15 years ago, I would say. I know Thomas the Engine, they had a toy or something that had like lead paint or something. And there was a lot of controversy over that and some kind of a recall. I think at the same time, Mattel, this was like 15, almost 20 years ago. I know Mattel also had something going on with lead paint, and they had to pull a bunch of toys off the shelves. I don't know if any of you guys remember that. And back around that time too, Nike was in hot water too, because Nike, even to this day, Nike gets accused a lot of outsourcing their labor into sweatshops and stuff. I don't know how much of that is true or not, but I'm trying to think of what else was big around that time too. Oh, also pet food. I remember around that time too. I don't know if it was specifically cat or dog food or both, but there was questionable things happening with cat and dog food. Hey, still to this day too, because as we know, they might be getting like the real meat of an animal, but they might also be getting like the not so nice parts. So I don't want to gross you out too much, but pet food, Nike, toy companies, they were under some hot water back in the early 2000s for said reasons. And they had to take accountability. You know what I mean? To gain back their reputation, or some of these companies probably never recovered from it. But that's why I started off in the beginning saying too that, like, if you do good, it becomes the norm sometimes, and nobody, somebody might be like, oh, I might tell like their friend or family member. But if you do bad, that's it. Like, it's going to like multiply. It just happens. So one thing that happens a lot in business too is some businesses do this, is make promises they can't keep. You gotta be careful with that. Like, it's something you definitely want to have an edge, and you want to be unique, and I understand you want to do something different, and you want to get people's attention, and you want to create some kind of offer that's better than everybody else. But you got to be careful too. You got to make sure that, like, not only is it lucrative, but like, are you able to like sustain it, or can you replicate it? Can you automate it? Right? You got to think about that stuff too. But it's all about starting somewhere. Like, you're not going to get testimonials if you didn't do anything yet. So that's why getting that accountability under your belt helps. Like, for instance, maybe there's an influencer in your niche or field where you could do something for free, right? Or somebody that's like your dream client. Is there a way you can basically do something for free and offer them something? Just, you know what I mean, to get their attention. And like, maybe, like, for instance, I know there's two paths I was kind of going there. Like, one, like, kind of like getting your influencer's attention by or whoever it is that you look, there's some big name in your niche. If you wanted to get their name, if you wanted to get maybe your name out and collaborate with them in some way, or just kind of tap them on the shoulder and get their attention, like, of course, the best way you're gonna be able to do that is by basically helping them throw rocks, which is like one of three things that will, get others to be somewhat persuaded by your actions. Like if you're out there kind of pitching in a little bit and throwing rocks at their enemies a little bit, they might pick up on that and they might be like, that's cool that you did that, looking out, right? And now that's one path. But the other path I'm talking about for like the kind of building like a little bit of accountability, a little bit of getting your foot in the door kind of thing, is finding your dream client, finding your dream job, whatever that might be, whatever your dream job, your dream client might be, and trying to see if there's an opportunity where you can kind of like wow them and almost like test you out, like get a trial run, like a pilot program of what you do. And there's all kinds of little tricks to do that, but you want to get, you know what I mean, you really want to get in front of that moving crowd, because they might have a lot of people that want that job, or maybe they're not hiring for the job, or maybe you don't feel like you're qualified for the job. If any of those things are like, what's going on, then the best way to just give it a shot and see if they might hire you, the client or the job, is to just kind of take the chance, take the leap, and just hand them in your resume. Just give them a call and see if you could sneak your way into like an interview almost, like, hey, what do you got to lose? Or see if there's some way that you can get them to allow you to work for free. You know what I mean? Just for like an hour or something, or maybe not even for free. Maybe just for like a little cash, whatever, or for free, right? If you do it for free and you do a good job and you're passionate about it, then the payment might just be getting that client or getting a job, right? It's like, who cares about that little bit of money, right? When, if you really want that job or really want that client, like, that's why it's important to like really want to like do what you're doing, and you want to be able to like enjoy the company of the people that you're around too. And if that's the case and you're not working there yet, well, this is the only way you might get it a shot. You know what I mean? Like, by the time they put their job on Indeed or ZipRecruiter or whatever, you might already be happy and settled into another job, or moved away, or you don't see it or whatever. So, just because a place might not be posting like for hire, or just because like you don't have like your clients necessarily raising their hand out there like in an obvious way, doesn't mean like don't give it a shot. Like some people want to be approached that way, and not asking for it either. They're just like, geez, if somebody just came here right now with the right skills at the right time, I think a lot of places would maybe hire you. They might look at you strange at first, like, why is this person just randomly coming over here and working for free? But that's okay. That's okay. It's good. You're worried about somebody thinking that you're weird, that you're like basically working for your dream client or your dream job for free for like a very short period of time, and then it's like, there you go, you got your foot in the door. Maybe it's even like, hey, to get a janitor and then you work your way up to CEO. Hey, some people have done that kind of thing. But if you want credibility for what you're doing, you got to have accountability. So just to kind of supercharge things for a moment and conclude this, I would like to add that having like a batteries included mentality is probably good to have in business, right? Like that's probably not a bad solution to some of this. And what I mean by that too is like, do you ever buy something and there's no batteries that are included and it's just a pain, and then it kind of has to sit on the shelf for a couple days, a couple hours, I don't know, maybe a couple weeks, and or maybe you never get to it, and it's just like a pain because you're just like, oh, I need those batteries for my remotes and all these other things, or maybe it has a battery that's just hard to obtain, right? Whether it's a big appliance, electronic, a vehicle, to something small, like a small little device or electronic. So like if you were going to a store and price wasn't necessarily the issue, as in like you can afford it or the price was just the same kind of all around, and the same packaging, well, not the same packaging, but the same product in all these different companies packaging, they all have whatever it is that might be a little bit different, but they're all basically the same, right? Whatever electronic it is. But one of them has batteries that are included out of all of them. No brainer there, right? Which one are you going to get? Maybe it's even just a little bit more, but you're like, yeah, but if I have to go buy the batteries separate, it's just a pain in the ass. So it's like, when it comes to that, like you want, like, that's what I mean, like for your clients or whatever it is you're selling, like you want to have that batteries included mentality where you're like when you get this, like what, like the other thing that you need, like I will supply you with. If it doesn't already come with it, like I have it, like just hit me up and I'll send it right over to you or whatever. I'll give you the link to it or whatever. Just like, you know, even if you don't include the batteries, like if you could just be like at least a super resourceful person to get it in their hands as soon as you can with the batteries or the resource to the batteries, whatever kind of batteries it needs. Maybe it doesn't need batteries, it needs other things in like the recipe or whatever in the instructions to get it going. There's some kind of fuel, right? Fuel or a battery, include that. Like this could be part of your USP, right? Like if you're selling a commodity just like everybody else and nobody else has got batteries included with it, well what should you do? Put batteries with it. Yeah, it's going to cost you a little bit more, but it's in the long run it's going to be inconsequential when you're the only one selling your product amongst the other five clowns that decide not to put batteries with it. And it's like, great, now that's beautiful. Now there's an opportunity for you to stand out amongst the rest of them and supercharge your business and sell it off the shelf because yours comes with batteries. But like, just kind of open your mind a little bit to that one too. Like there's probably other ways you can apply that analogy to. Can't you think of like at least a few things that you buy these days and like you have to buy something else separately to get it going? Like what if it's a printer? Like don't you want to have ink to go with it? Like um I can think of lawn tools, right? Don't you? Well, that's probably not the best one, but hey, batteries. What if you go out to eat to a takeout place and you order food that needs a fork or a spoon and they don't give you utensils? Or they're like, we're out of napkins. You know what I mean? Our bathroom doesn't work. You know what I mean? You're just like, nope. Like, that for them could be like their batteries included. So like expand your mind on that too. If like your job is to provide this or that and like they need the other 10%, whatever that thing is to actually get it going, like it could be the power cord, right? Whatever it might be, make sure that if they don't have it and it's included, that you at least are knowledgeable to get them to that as quick as possible. So that way they're not hung up on it, and then they just basically give you a bad review in their own mind too. So that's just, you know what I mean, when you're starting out, you know what I mean, like if there's any way you can make batteries included, that will supercharge your accountability, so you can get more credibility, so you can get more credit. Now, I can think of another example, maybe two. Two. If I think of another one, I'll tell you. But think of people that snowplow, or think of people that do landscaping. Right, batteries included. Good example. If you have a buddy in the business, or you yourself could like shovel their sidewalk or shovel a path to their car, right, if it's snowing, or their doorstep, or if you're a landscaper and you're like, you mow lawns, but you're also like, you do the trim bushes, and maybe you do a few other things. Like, that's the batteries included, right? Like, any company can just go mow a lawn or plow a driveway, but why don't you also like include that extra little thing? Or there's mechanics out there too. They're awesome. They might change a tire, change your oil. However, they'll also test drive it or check your fluids and belts and take a mental inventory and warn you, like, hey, we popped your hood and we noticed A, B, and C or X, Y, Z. I mean, you should be good, but that's batteries included too. You get an ice cream, they throw some sprinkles on it, whatever. Batteries included. You go get your groceries and they don't charge you for a bag. Batteries included. That's a good one, right? You know that is. How many times you go to a store and it's just like they can't wait to be like, buy a bag, buy the reusable bag, give us 10 cents for a bag. Okay, think about Trader Joe's for a second. This ain't sponsoring Trader Joe's at all. I haven't been there in a while, by the way. But like, I know for a fact that they would give you, for years, ever since I started going there, like, I remember going there like almost 10, 15 years ago, and they always gave you like a nice sturdy paper bag, like a big one. Actually, I think it was a double paper bag. Give you. That's good marketing. Not to mention Trader Joe's has a killer newsletter. They think they still do it too. They come out with it every month or every few months. But I always get that. That's a great form of advertising, by the way, too. And that's a good way to stand out amongst the crowd too. And not a lot of, I don't think there's any other grocery store that's doing one like that. They have a newsletter that's just like, highlighting all the different products they got. One of these days, actually, when I do one of these results radio things, I'll try to go through one or whatever and just show you how neat it is that they do that. But you know what I mean? Battery, there you go. Trader Joe's is a batteries included kind of a grocery store, right? They give you they give you bags, sturdy bags, and they give you a cool little newsletter that'll tell you about certain food, nice little story. It's kind of entertaining, and sometimes I've gone in there and been like, oh, I didn't know that they had that, or that sounds good, and there might be a recipe in there or something too. Or maybe you're just curious about like some weird food thing that they got there, and they'll tell you about it in the newsletter. So batteries included. And you know what, speaking of newsletters too, every business should have a newsletter. Every business should be emailing or direct mailing or sending some kind of message on a daily basis to their list, the list of customers. And one great way to have the batteries included into your business is by having a newsletter. There's no better battery that's included with your business than having a newsletter. And this is how you take accountability before anybody can talk crap about you. This is how you control the conversation. Because you're going to show authority by being an author of what it is that you do, what your company does. Maybe not you personally, but if you can get somebody within your company to hire, like even a copywriter or somebody to do like a weekly or monthly, at least monthly, if not weekly, some kind of broadcasted email as well. A lot of people do nowadays, and you don't have to be sales pitchy about it. I mean, you could put like some deals and specials that are happening, that month or in at a certain time of month or something like that. Great. You could throw some links in there too. Whatever, like any way you can keep the conversation going and being relevant to your client base is really what you're going for too. So that's a great way to like add batteries to your business. Like think about it. If you were buying anything, no matter what it is from anybody, and they got that batteries included mentality, you're gonna definitely flock to them. If they treat you like a human being, or what if the batteries included is some kind of app that's popular nowadays, and they give you points and bonus points and incentives and all these things, you get free stuff, like that's definitely the kind of batteries that people are looking for when they go to a business, right? If they're going to even get fast food, even the cheapest thing they can possibly buy, whether it's McDonald's or Dunkin', I don't care, I'll say their names, there's no sponsorship there. They also are fighting in this fast food world amongst themselves because they want everybody to get their app because they'll give you a free thing. They'll give you free food, a free drink. You get points to get more free food, more free drinks. And I've seen it already. People, especially younger generation, they love that stuff. You know what I mean? It's nice for them to know that like one day a week or sometime in one of their future purchases, which is a good retention plan too, by the way, sometime in their future purchase, they're going to get a free thing, a free item, a discount. Like, that's a great battery to have in any business. If you could figure out a way to do that for your business too. I'm not saying if you're a plumber you should be handing out buy 10 plumbings, get one free, or chiropractors or whatever. No, but there are different ways where you can make the batteries included. Like if you were a chiropractor, if you're somebody in the medical practice, there's probably something that you could send the client off with as like that batteries included, like some kind of a guide, like a post procedure guide or something like that, like what you should be doing or not doing, or eating or not eating, or some kind of a plan or diet. Like these are great things doctors could use too, even lawyers, even lawyers, like you, instead of just handing them a business card, right? Like maybe there's another part, you know what I mean? Maybe there's like some paperwork or something like that. Maybe there's some legal techno babble or some paperwork or some phone calls, right? There's some brilliant, actually, now we can talk about insurance companies too. I've seen insurance companies out will do this too. They'll actually go and try to find the cheapest quote for you. I forgot exactly what they do, but there's insurance companies that will transfer over all your stuff, basically, which makes it easy. Like, or there's third parties that do that too. Like there's third party companies, but there's actually business. I think Progressive or Geico, one of them do that too, where they have a tool where it'll just tell you all the rates of all the other places, which is cool if like they can actually be accountable for that, and they probably don't even think about it. They don't even care if they're a couple dollars more, $10 more. You want to know why? Because they know that people are going to go for the more honest one. They're like, yeah, they're at least honest. It might cost a little bit more, but I feel like if I do business with them, then like everything else they do is going to be a little more honest. You know what I mean? Like the other company, it's a few dollars cheaper, but this company over here is straight up like, yo, I'm a few dollars more. I'm $10. Maybe they're even $50 more, but you're like, I'm an honest. We're honest people. We're an honest company. We're not gonna try to juice you. We're just gonna give it to you the way it is, or whatever. And like that's some people. That's what they want, and that's what's gonna win over somebody versus just price. Is like that accountability. So yeah, that going back to the Nike thing too, I think that's what they had to do. Took them a long time, and they still, have that stigma of the sweatshops. But over the last 10 years, they've really worked on their branding image to make sure that like they would. I think they would even post. I don't know if anyone even goes to websites anymore. But back in the day when people used to go to websites, right? I think, right, or do people still go to websites? I don't know. I think websites are pretty much dead, but that's another thing. The web back in the Nike website, I didn't go to it, but I know that I read about how they were like trying to post like videos and like kind of like behind the scenes, like they're like this is where this is being made and that's being made, or like click this link here and like punch in, maybe they had it so you could punch in the number or code of whatever you got and you could see like the origin of where it's made and the village or whatever. I don't know, but like companies that do that or companies that did that, they end up performing very well because this is the kind of world we're living in now. Like people want transparency. They're gonna, you know what I mean, they want to see companies that take accountability. Like I think that people are more apt, especially now, to listen to what their friend or somebody else says about a company, like through word of mouth, than some fancy suit and tie company or CEO or whatever, or somebody in a nice business suit or whatever, like talking about all these benefits and features and how great their thing is and blah blah blah. Like people are gonna see through that. If their buddy or neighbor or somebody they went to school with or went to work with or passing by, maybe they don't even like them. They're just like, but they see their reaction to it and like they're just like like that's like you really do. You almost want to pay more attention to like the negative things that somebody's like basically saying, like in a way, like not them personally, but like you want to kind of listen to that as a business, and like because you're not probably going to get a lot out of just people just patting you on the back and saying you're doing good, you got this, you're doing good, and you're just like, do I though? So like you definitely want to pay attention to like, you don't want to be like hyper focused on negative feedback. That's not healthy, but if you can get a healthy dose of it once in a while just so you can see like where you need to improve on, it's a very valuable testing tool. There's all different ways to do that too. I know that I could help you with that a little bit. Just send me an email. But I want to wrap this up. I really appreciate anybody or everybody that's watching this right now or watching this later or listening to this. Again, my social media tags or handle, right? Is it called a handle? It's at the @ sign results required, one word. And my link tree, which is linktr.ee/results required. And if you want to personally send me an email, you could just send me a blank one too, and I'll put you on my list where I 5, 6, 7 days a week send emails out. Sometimes twice a day, but they're usually like helpful little tips, or it could be a continuation of what we're talking about right now, or I might just find this interesting too, right? and and be able to write an article about it and go into it deeper. I do that sometimes because I actually stand behind the things that I say that are on this whiteboard here or that are coming out of my mouth. So, and I gotta practice what I preach too. Like if I want credibility in this world, in this social media meta stratosphere, I don't know what it's called now, but I gotta take accountability too. I gotta take accountability too. I gotta not only like show up every day and do these for you, but like I actually have to practice what I preach once in a while too. And um I'm trying to also have a platform where I can listen to others too, like their feedback on what's going wrong with their business, or if they see something on here that they're just like, you should cover this, or I think you're wrong about that, like, please, like, hit me up. Like, I want to know. Like, it helps me learn. Like, I don't necessarily feel like I have all the facts, but like, I do 100% stand behind whatever it is that I'm saying on here or what I'm writing up there. Because what I wrote up there came from me reading something, and it was just like it triggered something in my mind that made sense. And I don't just go and write something on an index card if it's stupid or if it's just some like regular platitude that everybody's heard a million times. Like, no, like, every good book has got, not even just books, but sometimes like podcasts too and everything will sometimes have like tons of nuggets too that I'll just like kind of mine out, and it just kind of like, it just kind of takes the message that I'm already trying to promote, and it aligns with it. And when that happens, like, I just have no choice but to share it. But these are all pretty random. I have a whole pile of index cards that I write different things on from different books and different schools of mystery, and I try to regurgitate them on here. So again, thank you very much for listening and or watching. Have a lovely day, and if you know somebody that can benefit from this or whatever, just send it to them, share it with them, or let me know. Yeah, bye.